So hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be part of my again Python basic series, and the topic of this video is modular programming in Python. So guys, if you have not seen my Python basic series, I will be putting the link in the description below, so please go and check it out. And before starting this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for further notifications, and let's get started. So guys, first of all, we have to understand what is modular programming. So as the definition is written here, modular programming basically is the process of breaking down a huge code into smaller tasks or smaller modules. Let's take an example. For example, you have to create a huge banking application, right? So if you are a developer and you are given a task of creating an entire banking application, will it be difficult for you? Definitely. It will be a huge task and it will be really difficult for you to take care of each and every aspect of a banking application into your programming code. But if you are given a smaller part of that banking application, for example, you are only given the part of generating online payment. So let's suppose you only have to create a web page where the user comes, gives his credit card details, and he is able to pay for any commodity he has purchased. Will that be an easier task? I'm sure that will be much easier than designing and creating and implementing an entire banking application. So, this is why modular programming is so popular, because it helps us to reduce our coding pressure by simply breaking down our large application into smaller tasks. These smaller tasks are also called as modules. Now, I think the advantages are pretty clear from this example, but I will still list out some of the advantages which are written here. So, first advantage is simplicity. Definitely, if you are creating a very large application with a whole lot of features in it, it is very difficult and complex. But if you are only given a smaller part or a smaller module of that application, it is simple for you to understand, it is simpler for you to implement it. It is definitely simple for any new member in the team to come and take the handover of that smaller part as well. So the designing to implementation, everything gets simple by breaking down into modules. Another thing is maintainability. Now, this is really important. Whenever you create a code, you have to maintain that code for a very long period of time, like for years, right? So, how you can maintain that code? Definitely, there is not going to be one developer who is going to maintain that code, because they leave jobs and they can only understand a smaller part of a application very well. If you start explaining them about the entire application, they will become confused and they won't be able to easily maintain it as well. Hence, it is always recommended to cut your large application into smaller parts and assign them to different developers for maintaining them. Reusability. So I guess I have explained about reusability in my previous videos of functions, of classes and objects, of inheritance. Reusability is such an important concept, because let's suppose you created a banking application, right? And you created a small module of doing online payments. Now, can you imagine where all places you can use that small module? You can use that in your banking application, you can use that for any e-commerce application, you can incorporate that online payment in basically anything which can enable us to do online payment from our credit card or debit card, right? So you see the advantage of it. You do not have to write the code again and again which is doing the same thing. And that is why reusability is so perfectly enabled with the help of modular programming. And the last thing is scoping. Okay, I think scoping is a little bit difficult to understand, because we have not talked about the variable scope in detail. We only talked about them in a short video in my Python variables, but I do recommend you guys to watch it. So, what is scoping? Let's suppose we are in a banking application. You are designing something called as an online payment web page, where a person comes, puts his details, and simply gets the payment done. And I, on the other hand, I am designing something called as ordering a new debit card or a credit card, right? So if you are in a banking application, you are able to order a new credit card or a debit card from your banking application, right? So in both of our cases, we want to use a variable which is called as a credit card or a debit card number. So basically, I want to name my variable card number. You also want to name your variable as card number. But if we both are part of the same application, will we be able to use the same variable name and use them differently? No. You cannot do that if you are writing the entire code in the same application. So if I have got one function written and there I am also using credit card number, you are also using the same variable credit card number, then we both will be having the same copy of the variable. Okay, and if I want to do something, if I want to do something with that and I simply change it, the variable value will be changed for you as well. To prevent this situation, we need something called as a scope of the variable. So I want my credit card variable to be limited scope to my own application only, and you want that your credit card number variables only should be limited to your application, to your module scope. If we do modular programming, then the variables which are defined in a particular module are only limited to that particular module. Their scope is limited to that particular module. So you cannot use that variable independently anywhere else. Okay, so for example, I have a module called as credit card activation. There I am using credit card number. That credit card number will be different from your application where you have something called as online payment and the variable name is also credit card number. So we both will be actually handling different variables and we both will be having the same name, but they are limited to their own scope. So that's the importance of it, that you can use the same name variable, same name functions in your code, despite of the fact that they both are part of a bigger application, just by separating our code into different modules. So I hope that is clear to you. And now let's move to the fun part, which is the coding part. So now I will explain to you how we can actually use modules in Python. So the first thing is that there are some built-in modules in Python. So there are modules you can create. There are modules that are already built in. How can I know that this module is basically already there in my code? So you have a command called as a dir. So let me just write here dir and this brackets, and when I execute this command, you will see a whole lot of things are printed out. List of modules are printed out. These modules are basically built-in modules which are by default in my system. So I have this built-in doc, loader, name, package, spec, etc., and whole lot of other things. So these modules are by default included in our Python file, and you do not have to basically import them. Okay, so whatever modules are here in this package, they are by default included. You do not have to basically include them. Okay, now let's create our own module, and we have something called as an import statement using which you can import your own module. So first of all, let's start with creating a module. Okay, let's open a notepad here. You can use any Python editor, but I am using Notepad just for simplicity. I have some code which is already there with me. Here I have created a string. So I will just rename these variables pretty quickly because I have used these variables in the video previously, previously making the videos. So I will just rename them for more clarity. So I have some string. So I will just write here my new str. I have a list and it's called as my new list, and I have a function. So I have my new function and my new class. Now I will save this module with an extension py. Okay, so what you have to do here is I will go to a particular path here. So my Jupyter notebook in this path called as Python scripts, and then getting started with Python, and here I will write the name of this module. So let's suppose I am naming this as my new module dot py, and this py extension basically means that it's a Python file. And now I will simply save it. Okay, now my module is saved. I will close this notepad now and I will check my dir output. Do you see my new module anywhere? No. So my new module is not a module which is already imported or which is already there in my dir output. That means if I do something like this, if I want to use that module, I am not able to use it until I import it using an import statement. So the first way to import is by using an import statement and importing a whole module. So if I want to do that, I have to do something called as import my new module. And now you see that my module is imported. Now if I do dir command, and let's see the output. Let's try to find my new module. So now you will see that my underscore new module is imported. Okay, so now your module is imported and now you can use it. How I can use it? How I can use it? So I can use this my new module and just print out all the variables which are declared in this module. So my module was having a string, a function, a class, and a list. So let me print out all of them here. So what you can do is you can print out your string. So I can now access my string here. So my string is printed. I can access my list here and my list is printed. I can create an object of the class which was there in this module. So I can do something like this, my new class, and my object is created. I can also call my function here, my new function, and you see that my function list is printed. So this is how that you can import a module and you can use the entire code written in the module by calling it with the help of a dot operator between the module name and the variable name. But there are other ways to do this thing as well. For example, I do not want to use my module name and my variable name, the whole thing, right? Because it is pretty simple. It is really long and I do not want to spend my time simply writing the whole names every time I am trying to access that variable. So now we will do something called as importing particular variables from a module. How you can import particular variables from a module? You can use that with the help of the from keywords. For example, I want to directly access my list. Okay, I have this list variable, my new list. I want to directly access it without using my module name. So all you can do is from my new module, import my new list. Okay, so now if I want to access this new list, I can use it directly. I do not have to write the module name dot my list name. I do not have to do that. I can just directly access it. So this is called as importing particular variables from the module. You can actually import multiple variables from the module using a comma. So here I can write comma my new str, and now if I do my new str directly, you will see that my string is also printed. In fact, if now you will do dir command, you will see that my new str and my new str and my new list both are there in the dir output now, because they both are actually imported in your application. Okay, so this is about how you can use the from keyword to import certain variables. Another thing is that I do not want to actually call my variables using their entire name, or I don't want to call my module using its entire name. I want to use something called as a short form or a short alias. So how you can use aliases? Okay, let's see that. So if I want to import a module, I can do something like this: import my new module as m. Okay, now this m is the short alias for the entire module name. If I do something called as m dot my new str, you will see that your string is printed. So if you have followed my previous videos, in some of the videos I was using something called as import pandas as pd. So pandas is also a library in Python, and you can simply import it with the help of this command, but you can use the alias pd instead of a longer name called as pandas. So this is how you can use something called as aliases, but you cannot use aliases just for the module. You can use it for variables as well. For example, I can do something like this: from my new module, import my new str as ms. So if I now just write here ms, you will see that my string is also printed. So you can use this alias with as keyword for any module or for any package or for any variable. Now we have the another thing in which we want to import the using star. So now we have discussed aliases, we have discussed importing an entire module, we have discussed importing particular variable, but what about I want to import all the variables from my module? So basically my module is having a string, it is having a class, it is having a function. Now I want to access all of them without using my module name. So what I can do is I can either write something like this: from my new module, import my new str, import my new str, my new list, my new class. So I can write all the variables here with the help of the comma. But what if my module is having like 100 variables? I won't be writing all of their names, right? So instead of writing this entire list, I can just write here star. And now you can see that if I create an object like object is equals to my new class, you will see that this object is created. If I call the function called as my new function, you can see that this function is getting executed. So using a star operator, you can basically import all the variables from the module in one line. Okay, now we have covered the modules part and the importing part. Now the next part is called as packages. Okay, so I will just tell you how you can create packages and basically what are the advantages of using packages. So advantage of using package is, let me show you my directory here. So package is basically dividing your code into multiple folders or multiple directories and then using them through that directory. Now if you see my code here, I have this module created, my new module, a py file created here, and it is a whole lot of Jupyter notebooks and Python files in one single directory. Now you will say that if I want to basically find a file in this directory, won't it be difficult for me? And that is actually true. Yes, it is difficult for me because this code is, all the files are being dumped in one place. So if you have some sort of banking application, definitely if you want to find a file, it will be more beneficial for you if you divide your files into folders or a directory structure, and then you are able to access them easily and find those files also easily. So that is where Python packages come into picture. So basically we create something called as a new folder. So for example, I have something called as my new package, and let's say this is my directory here. Okay, now what I will do, I will go inside this package and I will here create a notepad file. Let's go to notepad and let's print it out something. Print this is my package, and the key here is the name of the file. Here I will name the file something called as init.py. Okay, now I will save this inside this package. And what this init.py file does is that whenever you are importing a package, this is the first file which will get executed. Okay, and let's now create another module inside this package, which is just let's suppose declaring some function, my package function, and this is just printing something called as a print. This is function inside a package. Okay, and now let's save this as a module inside this package. So let me just save this, and let me write the name called as new module package. Okay, so this is saved as a py file. Okay, so now I have this module here called as new module pkg, and then I have this init file here. Now I will try to use this file in my Jupyter notebook. But now if I do something called as import, and the name of the file was my new module package, my module package, you will see that I get an error. I will simply get an error that there is no module named my module underscore pkg. There is no such module here. So how can I access this module? Because it is not in the same directory structure as my Jupyter notebook. So to access this basically file, I have to access its package, and the package here is called as my new package. So first of all, I will just remove this. I have to do something called as import my new package. So you see that now my package is imported here. But there is one thing which didn't happen. The init.py file was not executed, and that is why because before starting to make this video, I actually created this code, this package code, and actually imported it in this Jupyter notebook, and that is why the init.py file printing statement did not happen. If I just create a new Python file here, and I will just show you the demo there of importing this package. Let me import this package here now, and now you will see that this init.py file should be executed. So because it's not executed here, let's see why. Because the bracket was not closed. Basically, let me close this bracket, and now let's try and import it again. Okay, now let's try and import it again with the new Python, and let's try this. Okay, you see now my init.py file is executed, and it is showing the print statement which I wrote in the init.py file. Okay, so whenever you are importing a package which has never been imported before in your code, your init.py file will get executed, and it is basically used to initialize some of the variables or some of the objects while importing the package. That is the use of init.py file. But other than that, the main use of creating packages is that you can use the modules defined inside the package with the help of package name dot my new module. And if you now import my new package dot my new module, okay, so this gave an error because your module name is different. So I'll just copy that, and it is like import my new package dot new module dot pkg, and now you see that this import statement is not giving any error here. So now if I want to use a variable which is defined in this module, I will just open it and I will just see that there was this function called as my package function. So I can access this function with the help of my package name, module name, and then my function name. So now you see that this function is printing the statement which was written inside it. Now again, you will now realize the importance of using aliases and the importance of using from keyword, because this whole thing is pretty long. So if I want to shorten it up, I should simply do that. Simply import the particular function from these packages and modules. So something like from my new package and this module, only import the function. So now I will import my function and now I can just call it directly, okay, without using the entire batch of package name and the module name and everything. You can even use aliases in this case as well. So guys, this is how you can separate your code into different directories. You can use them using package name, module name, you can use aliases, and you can use star for getting all the variables. And I hope you guys finally understood the importance of modular programming in Python. And if you guys have any questions, please post them down in the comments below. I will answer them definitely. And till then guys, please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for further videos. Thank you so much everyone for watching. Stay home, stay safe, and bye bye.